And welcome back to HirePresence. This is the last segment of today's show, and we're going to go a little deeper on giving you tools, tips, techniques that are subliminal, Jim?
Below level of conscious awareness.
I've got Jim Fortin, who is a influence expert and persuasion expert, and it's always good to have you on the show.
Thanks. Thank you.
Great. So let's go a little deeper.
Okay.
Get a little subconscious here, and really look at what are some things that people could do today that can help influence.
Okay. First things first. To watch a 30-minute interview, to think that your world's going to be changed is not rational.
That's
okay.
correct.
First step first is your mindset. I had a student of mine recently, a couple of years back in New York, and he went to an audition. He was an actor, and he said, I got to the audition, and all these people were in line. And I started thinking, well, that guy's better looking than I am, and that guy's taller, and he might get the part. And he goes, I realized that I took my body to the audition, but I left my mind at home.
Exactly.
First things first, I know that people watching are thinking, well, this is supposed to be persuasion and influence. I can teach you persuasion and influence all day long, yet if you're not in the mental game, it doesn't matter. So first and foremost, work on your mental game. Work on the confidence, work on the self-esteem, work on the belief in yourself. Then we go into recap what we talked about is the rapport building. Without rapport, you're not going to get anywhere. So the unconscious rapport building. Then look at your marketing. How do you differentiate yourself from people out there? You know, when people are sitting at home, 11 o'clock at night, they're on Career Builder or whatever, there are also 6,000 other people at home in their pajamas sitting there banging away sending out resumes. I know for a fact that companies actually many times don't even post jobs because they get so many resumes they don't want to deal with it. They'll hire a headhunter to do it. So how can you be more creative in your job search in terms of getting the attention of people that will be hiring? And something very simple that most people miss. If you really want a job, this is what I would do. I wouldn't send my resume through Career Builder or anything else. I would FedEx it to the person that I knew was hiring. What do we do with FedEx? It's important. We open it today, don't we?
Exactly.
Little things, just be different.
Well, I know that even when they show up, you want to make sure that you really do bring your A game.
Absolutely.
You know? Are there any other tools that they should use in the interview itself?
You know, I'm not a rabid self-promoter, as you know. I mean, actually, I'm pretty humble about my own self-promotion. But a big mistake, and I have Catherine Hatcher on the Mind Authority Network. A big mistake that people make is they don't dress appropriate for an interview. I've seen people go to interviews at law firms and they might be wearing a flowery dress. Literally, I mean, they look nice, but that's not the appropriate clothing. And actually, colors have an effect on people. They literally do. People read color in a matter of seconds. So are the colors that you're wearing, are they appropriate for the place that you're interviewing at? Because if they're not, you're unconsciously telegraphing that, you know what, we're not a good fit. Red is not a great color for an interview, yet I've seen people wear it. So color psychology, first and foremost, I can't give you everything today. Just work on it. Work on yourself. Start learn some of the things that I have to help. I've got plenty of free videos at the Mind Authority Network. Start watching the videos because there are real takeaways there.
I will tell you, I've been through Jim's class and I know how powerful it is. And I believe that you'll find that it's extremely powerful the more that you actually watch some of his videos on mindauthority.com. Yeah. And they're free. I mean, just go engage. The more that you engage with Jim, the more you're going to find that you want us to know even more. You want to go deeper.
By the way, great use of a language pattern there. That's actually a hypnotic language pattern. The more that you blink, the more that you blink. I taught in the pattern, it's the way that the brain works. The more you don't want to eat cake, the more you want to eat cake.
Well, you know, when you're sitting there with the master, you better use some of his language. He planted the suggestion. You know? But the thing is that the more that you guys begin to do what we're telling you, the better the results are going to be.
Quickly.
So, yeah. And so when someone does engage with you, if they go to your when they engage with you, and they go to your sites.
Right.
What do they begin to get right away?
A different perspective on selling themselves. A different way to look at how do I persuade, how do I influence this person? How do I get behind their thinking? How do I get behind their eyes, into their head, and understand how they're making sense of the world?
Well, I know that basic stuff, but if you're looking for a job, you find out who you're going to interview with. I mean, you can do that. When you do that, you better be looking on their Facebook, their LinkedIn, you know, whatever. Look at what they're interested in. Look at what their history is.
Super important. Let me interject there. This is super important. If I know the person interviewing me, I'm going to look at their Facebook page. Do they like dogs? Do they have kids? Because that'll give me a profile of who that person is. Even if they have little religious icons, political icons, I want to know everything I can know about that person, because I'm going to play to that, because we buy who we are. We buy our identity. We're more inclined to like somebody who is like us than not. So as much as you can be like them, the better off you are.
Well, and that's the key for what we're talking about today is this is a big sale. For some of you, it's between a $50 and $150 to $500,000 sale, especially if you work there for several years. It's a big sale, and you need to take whatever keys you can.
Use everything you can.
And I know Jim's got a ton on mindauthority.com, Mind Authority Network.
We're up Monday. We're live now, but we're up Monday. Yeah, plenty of information, tons of videos. They can learn every bit of this to take out, become more persuasive in their interviewing, their resumes, anything and everything they need to do to get hired.
Man, Jim, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Yeah. We'll be back next week with more HirePresence. I've got some really special people coming up in the next few weeks. Lynn O'Neill is next week, and she'll be teaching you more about how a executive hires. We'll be back. Thanks again.